Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be showing you guys my February bullet journal spread, and I am doing the same thing that I did last month, which was get a watercolor sheet of paper and I doodled something on top of it. Now I'm erasing it so that I can go over it with watercolor and then ink it once it's all dry. And I just love how that looked as a cover page last month, and I kept flipping back to it, and I was just so happy every time I saw it, so I wanted to go ahead and keep that going. What I didn't do, which I think I just didn't look very hard for a paper that matched, and I didn't really want to go shopping for some because we're on a really tight budget this month, was use scrapbook paper. I know that I have so much scrapbook paper, so I could have just looked a little harder, but the other one just matched so well. And then so February I didn't use any. I sort of just doodled a lot more. Everything was doodles instead of adding pops of color with watercolor paper. And yeah, here I'm just using some cheap watercolors from Michael's on the watercolor page. I just wanted to use something a little bit different, something with more colors in it. And I already pre-doodled, if that's a thing, I pre-doodled all of my February spread. I think maybe the last two pages I kind of winged them, but I'm not sure. I think I did. But these, yeah, I already went ahead and doodled them, and I wanted to include our little bean character into my bullet journal spreads. I know last month was just a plain like gems and space kind of thing, but I really want to put bean in my future ones and maybe do like a Bujo with bean theme or something like that. I don't know. I'm playing around with the idea. But so here she is holding up a little banner of hearts because, you know, Valentine's Day, February. And then I told you guys that I was going to try and spread out my month when I wrote it down this time because last time it was so tiny. So that's what I did here. And then because I still had all that empty space at the bottom that I would have normally used my scrapbook paper on, I wrote out the 2018, and then I added more banners, and then the little arrow that goes on either side of the calendar looks really cute. I just didn't know what to do with that empty space. I didn't know if I should put beans, and I didn't want to put more banners of hearts because I already doodled like 37 hearts on this page, maybe like 12, but I just thought that was enough, so I just added a little Cupid's arrow. And now I'm just going over with my Micron. I think last time, let's see what pen I used. I think I have it here. Last time I used the Stadler. I think that's maybe how you say it. And I really loved it last time, but I think I've used it so much that it's starting to drag or skip every time I write in it. And the felt tip, I probably squished it too much, so now it's like extra thick. So here I'm just using a #1 micron pen, and it's not the thinnest one. I usually use the 0.005, so probably like a 0.5. I don't know if that's what it is, but a really thin one. And here, this is just double the size, and it is perfect. It is perfect to draw like not super thin lines, and I can still go over them to make them a little thicker. And it was just, it's the perfect pen. It's what I'm going to be using from now on, and I just got to stock up on them because I don't usually have that size on hand. I usually have the much thinner ones. But anyway, here I am using the Crayola markers because they do not bleed through at all. Like, not even a little bit. I love it so much. And here I thought that I was going to be using the super light blue because I know that I have one lying around somewhere, and when I saw the cap of the marker, I'm like, yeah, this is like sky blue. Nope. You can see there when I wrote that E, I should have done that before I went ahead and colored the arrow, but once I started, I was like, okay, I'm just going to be using this blue from now on. And this seriously bothered me the entire like 2 hours that it took me to actually do all this. It did take me a long time to do all this, but right now, just looking at it, once I put that watercolor page next to it, I really like it. And I use this blue throughout the rest of the pages too, and it bothered me every time. But once I start with one color, it's just gotta stay cohesive. Plus, I couldn't find the other light blue, so it's just the way it goes. Here, this first page after my cover pages is my goals page. So both personal and business, and then you have like a happy bean at the bottom, just being super cheerful and encouraging. And here I'm just kind of working with different fonts. I really did try to use several different fonts when it came to doing this entire February spread, which I'm really happy about, but I still need to venture out and do a few more. Maybe I just gotta go on Pinterest and look for other inspiration, because I always end up doing like the same sort of cursive that I always do. And I was going to go ahead and ink everything, but I wanted to just add a little more color since I wasn't doing any scrapbook paper or anything. And the light colors in the bullet journal, I think, look so pretty. Like that blue, but that really, really, really light pink, I like it. And here, there's like that medium pink, so I tried to cover it up a little bit with some more pen marks, which I ended up really liking how it looks. And then my next page there, you can kind of take a peek before I get to it, is my routines page. So if you remember, last month I still had morning and evening, but I wanted to carry on that through every month so that I changed up my routines according to what I did or didn't do, or what worked for me and what didn't. So I know that journaling first thing in the morning doesn't totally work for me, so I made sure I put it in the evenings this time. And another thing that I wasn't doing in the evenings was reading. I'm actually not reading at all, which sucks, but I've just been listening to audiobooks while I work, and that's just the closest thing that I can get to reading a book right now. So that's just, I took that out of my routine so that I didn't feel like a disappointment. And here, I don't think I added any colors here. Maybe to the arrow, but maybe not. I kept it very, very simple, especially because I have added a lot of color, well, not a lot of color, but I've added some color going forward, and the three colors that I chose were those two pinks and that blue, and that blue is something dark. Here, this one I'm really excited about. I don't know if you guys remember last month when I mentioned that I live for habit trackers, whether it's in my planner, in my Erin Condren with stickers or inserts or anything. I live for habit trackers. I love marking off when I do something. So I'm trying something a little different here. It is extremely time consuming and it takes up a lot of space, but I really like how it looks. I don't know that I'm going to do it again. I think next month I will go back to a regular habit tracker, but I think it looks so pretty. It's probably one of my favorite pages, or it would be one of my favorite pages if I didn't use that blue and that banner. It just bothers me so much. Although I'm looking at the screen and it doesn't look too bad, but while I was doing it, oh Jesus, I just wanted to rip out that page. But that is one thing that I am not gonna do at all. Even if I have to cover it up with a watercolor paper and go over it, because the pages are numbered, if I know that I rip one out, it's just gonna drive me crazy. I don't want to see those numbers like skipping. So yeah, basically I made a box for every single habit, and then I was gonna number them individually like every single day because 1 through 28, but that was just gonna look super, super busy, and I decided to just keep it like this. And I sort of separated them between like working out and like healthy things, and then in the bottom I put more like maybe like mental health things or wellness things, or I don't know, like things that I want to do that make me happy and that have nothing to do with like my body and things like that. And then the next one I did pretty much the same exact thing, but with chores and things that I need to do around the house. And last month, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed to say that I did like none of them. So this month I've already started, I've already checked out a few in the first 5 days of the month, thank goodness, and I hope that I can just keep on going. And I'm going to go ahead and grid it just like the other ones, but for the sake of this video, I decided to just skip that and then I'll go back and do it afterwards, which I think I already did it. So I just didn't want to film it for you guys because I already did all of those boxes. You'll know exactly what they look like. And I made sure to add some more decoration, some more banners, just kind of keep that same theme going throughout. Now that I've erased all those lines, I'm just going back to my watercolor page. I gotta make sure that every color is dry before I go in with the next color because I really don't want this one to look muddy at all. So I let that blue dry, and now I'm mixing a couple color pinks that I have on this palette. It is like a super bright fluorescent pink and then more like a reddish one, like a magenta. And only because I want the two hearts to be a little different shades. So now that the blue's dry, I can go ahead and color this first heart pink. And before I dive right into the next heart, I'm going to go ahead, let it dry because I don't want to get them muddy. And I put a little more saturation in the bottom just to see if it would dry a little darker and sort of give it a little shade. I don't think that it necessarily made a big difference, but I tried. And oh, I'm so sorry, Bean's barking. I don't know. The mailman already went by, so I don't know why she's going crazy. But, okay, now I am going on to I was going to go on to my next page, but I forgot to add colors here. And, oh, a car is driving by. We'll wait for her to stop barking. Okay, I think she stopped. I hope. So anyway, now, yeah, so I forgot to add some colors to this page, which I'm doing now. And I had to add that little bit of blue because I really want to keep it somewhat cohesive. But anyway, here is a different spread that I have never done before, and I don't know how I feel about it. Actually, no, I know exactly how I feel about it. I like it a lot. I just don't like that I approached it with colors because I feel like I need a lot more colors than what I have. Because I don't know, I put one, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors for activities that I do throughout the entire day, and I thought that I didn't really do all that much other than like work and sleep. I know that's so terrible, but if I go grocery shopping or if we end up going to Barnes and Noble or things like that, like I should have put that on there as errands, or it's not necessarily me time. I don't know that I ever really have me time, not very often. And so it's really hard to make it work with those just 5 colors. What I want to do going forward is just put a letter. So obviously S for sleep, W for work, maybe E for errands, maybe a heart for like date night or Jake or things like that. So we'll see what happens in March. I'm just going to kind of make this work for now. And then I really wanted to do a page dedicated to tracking my mood because last time I just kind of had it in the bottom of my habit tracker as like 4 different moods. But this I wanted to be kind of like a colored mood tracker. And so I went ahead and put banners with little hearts just like I have the entire spread. And then each heart is a day of the month. So I have 28 hearts there, and I would color them. It would be like a super bright pink if I'm happy, and then more like a yellow if it's an day, and then blue is obviously sad. But yeah, I really like how this turned out. I've seen a lot of graphs. I've seen those circle graphs that I really, really like, but this just felt so appropriate for Valentine's Day. The only thing that concerns me is then again using that blue, and then it would, I don't know, it would be so dark. But I haven't been sad yet, so maybe that's just what I have to do. I have to just not be sad, and that way I don't use the blue. Only pinks. maybe a yellow here and there. But I really like how this turned out, and I'm very excited to see how it looks at the end of the month. And okay, when you're erasing your lines, please be super careful with your eraser, because I swear I ripped like half of my page, which I think that I didn't leave that in the video. I must have taken it out, although I really wanted to leave it to show you guys. But yeah, I ripped it, like the entire page came up, and it's like it lost one of the stitchings. So I have like one of those like small part of the books just kind of free right there, and oh, I don't like it. It's really bothering me, but there's nothing I can do, and I'm not ripping it out. So, and you can hardly see it. Like if I keep it pressed down, you really can't tell. It's just a little bit loose at the bottom. But you see what I'm saying with the colors? Like it just, I don't know, it doesn't look pretty to me. And then I ended up having to add workout to me time, which, I mean, I guess technically it could be because I'm doing it for me. It's like a wellness sort of health thing. But I don't know. It's just, I don't think I'm going to keep it with the colors. I'd have to have too many colors. And I guess I did end up sketching these out. I thought that I don't know, freehanded them, but no, of course I didn't, because I drew a little bean. But yeah, so here's my weight tracker that I really liked using last time, and then I added a little section there in the middle for the 80-day obsession that I'm doing from Beachbody, and then just measurements for, I guess, every part of my body. And it sort of skipped there because my camera died, and so, but you can kind of see it. You see bean with a little tape measure. And then this spread is just a cute little happy thought a day. So one thing that makes me happy each day is going to go right on there. And it's just a short little thing, because as you can see, I only left one line per day because that's all that I had. But it's just a spread to bring me joy, and I really like how it turned out and the idea of it. So now I'm back to my cover page. And here I'm using just, you see that pink there? Like I'm using just that pink. And that way it's just super light, and I don't like using white watercolors, just like I don't like using black. So I couldn't really make it lighter using white. I don't know why, I just don't like how that looks. So I just wanted to use the lightest pink that I could. And so that's what I did here. It's very, very, very light. And everything else was dry, so thankfully nothing bled. And that blue, or even that pink, would have really bled into that super light pink. Here I'm just trying to add a little sort of shady spot to it. I let it dry while my camera died. I don't know why my camera's been dying, but it has. And then I added like a tiny outline on each side of the heart. Even the dark heart has a little darker outline. I don't know if you can tell. And then I started writing my quote, which I searched for on Pinterest for maybe half an hour, because I didn't want something super cheesy, and I didn't want something, I don't know, I just couldn't find one that necessarily stuck with me. But then this one, even though it's not super lovey and super, I don't know, cheesy, it just fits. It says, it's not always easy, but it's always worth it. And that statement could not be more true, because sometimes being married and living with someone is not the easiest thing, and it can get messy, and it can just, I don't know, sometimes it can suck, but at the end of the day, it is so worth it, and I would not trade my life with Jake for anything. So it's just the perfect quote for us. Like I'm so happy, and I'm so blessed, and so even though it's not easy, it's certainly worth it. And now I will stop with my cheesiness and let y'all know here that I'm using my Jelly Roll ink pen, just to add a little detail. And my final, no, just kidding, it's not my final flip through. I'm now taping it because otherwise it would fall out, duh. So yeah, I'm just using this, I got it from Michael's, I can't even tell you what brand it is. But here is my cover page with my little illustration, and then my bean holding a banner for February. And then it's my goals and routine, and my habits and chore trackers, and my what I do in a day and mood trackers, and weight, and a happy thought a day. And that's it. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Bye!